Hello, and welcome back to the Dexter Team Devlog. I'm really sorry that I haven't been making any videos. You've probably been wondering where I am, but I have good news. The game is done. That's what I've been doing. I've been working on the game, and the game comes out on March 3rd. It comes out for PC, Mac, and the Nintendo Switch. Super excited about all that, but first, one of the big reasons that I haven't been making any more devlogs is because my wife and we now have a daughter. She's over a year old now. She's walking all over the place, and she's a lot to handle. It's quite a challenge balancing her and working from home and working on the game. But it's really, really amazing to watch her grow, and she's keeping us really busy, and it's a lot of fun. And we also have this new plant, but it's dying. Our cats ate it. Anyways, as you all know, I have actually been working on two different games. Dexter Stardust 1, which is the point-and-click adventure. That's the one that comes out on March 3rd. And then there's Dexter Stardust 2, which is the pixel art platformer game. I have actually things to discuss about both of them, but in this devlog, we're just going to talk about Dexter Stardust 1. In a different one, I'll talk about Dexter Stardust 2, where we're at, what changes have been made. But let's talk about the one that comes out on March 3rd. All right? First of all, I want to talk about some of the challenges that we had to overcome in order to get it done. So as you know, there were about 6,000 lines of dialogue. Editing those lines, for me, when I get those lines from the people that record them, it is so boring and tedious editing all those lines. I have an idea of making a video about what's a good workflow for editing voiceover lines. I think I came up with a really good workflow that could be applied to any type of DAW. That's a digital audio workstation. So I use Logic Pro, but I know a lot of people use other ones. And I think that there are just a few key things that you need to know when you're editing a lot of voiceover, and it can really speed up the process. Nevertheless, no matter what you do, it's boring and tedious, and I hated it. But I'm really glad that we got all those voiceover lines done. I'm especially grateful to Munk Alejandro and Lola Mendez. They did a fantastic job with their voiceover lines. They had more than anybody else. Munk Alejandro in particular had huge challenges to overcome to finish his voiceover lines.
450,000 acres, an area triple the size of Chicago. And with more than 30,000 forced from their homes, monstrous clouds of smoke from several large fires can be seen from space.
Yeah, so a forest fire, right? That forest fire came within a mile or two of his house, and he had to evacuate for several weeks. I think it was maybe 2 months that he had to evacuate, and he had to actually go stay with family while he didn't know if his house was going to get burned down. And that's where he did all the voiceovers, not to mention his house, which is far more important than the game. All the things that he owns, and everything was up in the air. What was going to happen, we didn't know, but the forest fire stopped, and he was able to return home, finish the voiceover lines, and we got it done. So, crisis averted. Very, very stressful for him, but we're really happy that we got it done. On the other hand, making a game for different systems, PC, Mac, and the Nintendo Switch, it has its challenges, especially as a solo developer. I have to do all this debugging and make sure that everything works, and then when you send it out for review, there's a lot of bugs that come back that you never thought would appear. Even when people play test the game, you know, there's so many bugs that appear once people actually start playing the game, reviewing the game. And one of the great things about submitting a game to Nintendo is that they have their own review process. Now, while I can't get into the details of that review process, I can say that they actually have someone play your game. And then that person tries to find bugs, and they send reports back. And then you have to fix those bugs. And there were a lot of bugs. I had to go through every scene. There's like almost 200 scenes in the game, so I had to go through every scene many times and change little things, and go through and change different components in the hierarchy, and it was so, again, tedious, extremely tedious. I will say that the last 5% of finishing your game, polishing it up, getting it ready for review is so tedious and boring. It's mind-numbing. Anyways, very, very much a challenge. So if ever you see a game get published, especially on a console like the Nintendo Switch, appreciate how difficult it was for someone to do that. It's true, there are a lot of people that publish games now on consoles because it's become more accessible, but that doesn't mean that it's any less difficult. The difficulty is extremely high. It's very, very difficult and tedious, and it's a long process and very stressful, especially if it's not your full-time job and you're trying to balance it with other responsibilities. The reason we're able to publish on the Nintendo Switch is because now we have a publisher. So Juan Peralta from Flynn's Arcade, that's his publishing company, he reached out to me in early 2001 and we just really clicked. A few publishers had reached out before that, but it just didn't feel right. I didn't really like the games that they had already published. But I looked at Juan, I was able to speak with him face to face. I really enjoyed that. He's just a different kind of publisher. He's super open and transparent and very easygoing, but at the same time, he makes very clear deadlines. So I have nothing but good things to say about Juan, and it's been very, very nice working with him because he's been extremely patient with me because this is the first time that I'm publishing a commercial product like this, and I just got a notification. But it's been really nice because he's been really patient with me during the porting process, and it's the first time that I've ever done anything like this, publishing a commercial product to these different platforms and working in GitHub and working with the porting team, and they've all been really patient with me. So I've learned a lot, and I definitely think that the next time I go through this process, it'll be a lot smoother. But it is quite a challenge. And one of the challenges that we had with porting Dexter Stardust to the Nintendo Switch is that it wasn't made for the Nintendo Switch. The game was made to be played with a mouse or with a touch screen, right? So it's a point and click game. There's no direct player movement, right? You click and then the player moves there. So how are we going to bring this game or this style, this genre, to the Nintendo Switch in a way that utilizes the Nintendo Switch? That was the question that I had. I didn't want to just rely on the touchscreen. I've seen other people do that. Other games have done that, and I just didn't feel comfortable doing that. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make use of the controls of the Nintendo Switch. So that's what we did. And let's check it out. How did we do that? All right, so here we are playing Dexter Stardust Adventures in Outer Space on the Nintendo Switch. And let's take a look at some of the controls, the inputs. First of all, we can see these things on the top. We have Director's Commentary, Inventory, Checklist, and Pause. So if we press Director's Commentary, this is one of the first scenes I started. Well, we'll skip that. That can be played on any scene. So every scene has a different Director's Commentary. We can see pressing L opens the inventory. Pressing L again closes it. And if you want to select an inventory item, you just drag the cursor over it, and then you can just use it on
I don't think so.
Yeah, there we go. And then you have checklist here, and you can actually go between these. They kind of just close each other as you go between them. And then we have the pause button, right? Pauses the game. And then we can, let's walk over here and let's do something. So go back into the bodega. You could see that we need to give Uncle Jetto the newspaper.
Uncle Jetto, I got your newspaper. A ver. Gracias, Dex. But don't go thinking this will make me give you back the robot. I've hidden it somewhere where you'll never find it. Uncle, no. I wouldn't think of it. I've forgotten all about that silly old robot. Bueno, vamos a keep it that way. Now let's see what's in the paper. With Uncle Jetto busy, now's my chance to snoop around.
All right, and then you can kind of see how these controls work. You can see what the gameplay's like. It actually plays really, really nice. You can, for example, we'll hit this little hidden button here. We'll go up here. Ooh. With Uncle Jetto distracted, you're able to go now into the attic, right? So scene transitions are really fast. The dialogue plays really well. All of these, mapping these buttons to the Nintendo Switch is really great because this way you can use it in handheld mode and you can also play it on the TV. After playing the game many times on both PC and the Nintendo Switch, I feel like the Nintendo Switch offers the best experience, to be honest. It was really unexpected for me because I thought moving the cursor with the D-pad would be somehow cumbersome, but it's not at all. It's extremely intuitive, and I really love using the LR buttons for the inventory and the checklist, and then using the X, Y, A, B buttons for the interactions, pick up, use, look at, talk to. It's a game changer. Pun intended. So there you go. Go buy Dexter Stardust. Buy it for PC, Mac, the Nintendo Switch, whatever you prefer. If you love point-and-click adventure games, I am certain that you will enjoy Dexter Stardust Adventures in Outer Space. It comes out again on March 3rd. The game will be $10, 10 euros, and it will launch at a 20% discount. So go pick it up on launch to get that discount. And if you're watching this a little bit a while after the game has come out, you can still pick it up, of course. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up. Go buy Dexter Stardust on March 3rd, and thanks for watching.